Hi there, I'm Dave Horton. I'm the creator of Jambonz, the open source CPaaS for service providers. Jambonz is what I call a bring your own everything CPaaS. As a service provider, you probably already have a preferred set of carriers that you're using. And with Jambonz, you simply plug those carriers into the platform. In this video, I'm going to show you how easy it is to integrate with Voxbone, which is now part of Bandwidth. And I'm sure most of you are familiar with Voxbone. They are the premier global service provider that provides local business voice on a global scale. I've worked with them for many years, and I can tell you their support is outstanding, and the quality of their service is top-notch. Check them out if you want international reach with local presence. Okay, now, before we get started, if you haven't already, go create your free account at jambonz.org so you can follow along with me, if you like, as we plug Voxbone into our Jambonz account. Okay, let's get started. Okay, I'm going to log into my Jambonz account. And you can see that I haven't got any carriers yet. So let's go ahead and add Voxbone as carrier. It's quite simple because we've got them in the predefined list here, so you can just go in, pick Voxbone. Now most everything's set up for you. If we go down, we can see the SIP gateways are set up. Both the outbound gateway here, outbound.voxbone.com, as well as all the inbound Voxbone gateways that we may receive calls from. There's a couple of pieces of information we'll need to fill in. In order to do outbound, we need to be signed up for Voxbone's outbound service. And that requires a credential, a username and a password. We'll have a look at that in a second. And now, Diversion Header, Voxbone has a really nice feature actually. Many of the other carriers don't have it. They can authenticate your call really in two ways. First is the username and password that we're going to provide. You also need to use an authorized DID from Voxbone. But unlike most other carriers, you don't have to put it in the from header. You could also put it in the diversion header, and that's what I like to do. It's kind of recommended because that allows you to put a different number in the from header, a different calling party number, so that the receiving party actually sees that other calling party number that you want to show. If that doesn't make too much sense, don't worry. It'll be clear when we bounce over to Voxbone and have a look at things there. So let's go do that. I'm going to show you how to set up things on Voxbone. This is almost good to go, with a few pieces of information we'll get from Voxbone. So here's the Voxbone portal. I'm logged in. The first thing I'm going to do is under Settings, create a Voice Uri. So when I want to send calls from Voxbone to my Jambonz account, I do that by creating a Voice Uri. And see if I can make the screen a little bigger. It's SIP, and then the URI format is curly brace E164 at, and then the IP or DNS we're going to send to. Now, where are we going to send to? Well, that's again right back here. Have your carrier send calls to, in my case, daveh.sip.jambonz.us. So let's just take that. That's where we want Voxbone to send the calls. So the URI format looks like this on Voxbone. The E164 gets replaced with the actual dialed number. So it's referencing the dialed number in the E164 format. It's going to be sent at my trunk at daveh.sip.jambonz.us. That's really all we need to do. Oops, let's give it a description. So we've created a voice URI on Voxbone. And the next thing we need to do is attach it to a phone number on Voxbone so that when calls come in on that phone number, they send it down that voice URI to us over at Jambonz. So let's go look at our numbers. I'm going to take two. I've got two numbers. And to both of these, I want to assign a voice URI that I just created. So we'll go ahead and do that and save it. So now I've got two numbers that'll go to the voice URI, and that's going to come to me at Jambonz, my Jambonz account. Now on the outbound, I'll go back under settings. I need to be configured for Outbound in Voxbone. And as part of that, you'll have a username and you'll generate a password. My username is Workshop D. Horton, and I got a super secret password. Let me just go back here and put in my username and my super secret password. And we come to the diversion header. So in the diversion header, what I want to put is one of my Voxbone DIDs, so they'll authenticate this call. Let me just go back and grab one of them. I'm just going to grab this one right here, which will be fine. So this is again for outbound calling. In jambonz, we use E164 format without the plus. So on outbound calling, the diversion header will be there. Voxbone will see that that's a DID attached to my account, and it'll be authenticated. That's all we need to do, really. We do, Voxbone has E164 format. We do want to prepend a leading plus. We save, and we've got Voxbone configured. Now let's test it out. We want to send some calls that way. Well, I've got a couple of test applications I like to use for this. Might have seen them in earlier videos. One's Hello World for testing inbound calling. Simple application that plays text to speech. And one is an outbound calling that calls a time clock and plays the current time. Neither too exciting, but a great way to test your carrier, and they're public apps. Anybody can use them. Let's go to Voxbone and let's route all the calls that come in to my simple Hello World application. And now I'm ready to test Voxbone inbound. Assuming I can remember the phone number that I want to dial here.
Hi there, and welcome to jambonz. Jambonz is the CPaaS designed with the needs of communication service providers in mind. This is an example of simple text-to-speech, but there is so much more you can do. Try us out.
Okay, great. Inbound calling's working. Let's do outbound calling. For outbound, let's grab this phone, or let's route calls on this phone number that come in to our dial time app. So they'll come in, I'll dial that number, they'll come in, and then they'll go out of the dial time app. So it'll go outbound through Voxbone. So coming in on the 213 number, hitting an app that turns around, does a dial verb, out to a phone number that is that speaking clock. All right, let's try that. 279 9672.
Hi there. Please hold while we connect you to the talking clock, which is graciously provided by the National Research Council Time Signal of Canada.
NRC, Eastern Daylight Time, 22 hours, 0 minutes, and 30 seconds.
All right, not the most exciting thing, but there you have it. We've got Voxbone all configured. We're able to make inbound calls, able to make outbound calls. We got the diversion header all properly set up so we can put any CLI that we want. And we're good to go. We have call detail records, and we can see that the calls are going out through Voxbone. Awesome. All right, we just connected Voxbone to our jambonz account, and we verified both inbound and outbound calling. Probably took less than a minute all in, if you subtract out all my yapping. That's all for now, and if you have any questions, please email us at support@jambonz.org, or just hit me up directly at daveh@jambonz.org. All right, I'll see you next time, and you have a great day.